Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beatle Dustino, coming at you again today with yet another video, and coming at you with some late-breaking Beatles news, and a little early than what I normally do. But anyways, before we get started with that news, let's see the intro. Yeah, so my channel, always late-breaking. But I kind of wanted to mull it over and kind of see what I was thinking on everything here. But of course, we had the big Beatles news, our yearly Beatles news, our, Christmas time, big product that comes out every year. And, since 2017, we've got pretty used to, we've been getting the stereo remix of one of the albums. And we kind of took a departure from that last year in 2023. And I know we were all hoping for Rubber Soul. Supposedly, Giles Martin is on record saying that it's done, has been done since 2023, 2022 even. And, so it's just sitting there now for 2 years. 2 years, no Rubber Soul. But we kind of all, few of us at least, suspected there'd be maybe something for 2024, being that it is the 60th anniversary of the Beatles coming to the U.S. I think there is something to that. And just looking at the stats, the 1964 U.S. stats on the Beatles that they had on the site with this announcement. And yeah, it's pretty impressive. So 1964, the Beatles saw 17 U.S. top 40 hits, 6 of which were number ones, 6 top 10 albums, 4 of which were number ones, 1 blockbuster film that eventually went on to receive 2 Academy Award nominations, and plus there was a hit North American tour. So, I mean, that was a pretty good year for a group of guys from Liverpool, England, to come over to the U.S. and literally conquer it. And so, it should be celebrated, any of these big anniversaries. So the 50th anniversary, we saw the U.S. albums box set. Kind of before that, the 40th would have been, we saw the Capitol albums, Volume 1 got released. The Capitol Albums Volume 1 was pretty good. I mean, at least they gave us the correct mixes on it. And the US albums, though, was kind of, the packaging was beautiful. Everybody loved the packaging. The mixes were not great because I pretty much used the 2009 stereo and mono mixes there. A little add-on if it was a very extreme US mix that was done. They maybe put that in, but for the most part, it was the 2009 stereo mono remixes. Well, or remasters, I should say. So the big announcement this year, of course, is the Beatles 1964 US albums in mono box set and individual releases. So let's go through what we're going to get with that. And let's see. So of course we're going to get Meet the Beatles, and I've got my original mono pressing here. Meet the Beatles came out originally on January 20th of 1964. And then we've got the Beatles' second album will be in there. This is my mono pressing on it here, original mono pressing. This came out April 10th, 1964. This, of course, is the U.S. albums, not the Capitol albums, but because A Hard Day's Night would be the next one up here. This originally came out on June 26, 1964 on United Artists label. So there's that one. And featuring a lot of the songs off of A Hard Day's Night. Not to be outdone, Capitol had to have their version, so Something New, which came out on July 20th of 1964, so just about less than a month later after A Hard Day's Night on United Artists. Beatles 65 would be the next one in the box. I kind of skipped one in order, going release order, but this came out on December 15th of 1964. This next one kind of brings in and started the confusion, because that's what I've really been feeling on this, is confusion. But the early Beatles would be the next one in the set. So far, all these 6 that I've shown are going to be available individually too, and I'm going to get to one of them. Is there something special with one of the other ones here? But yeah, this originally came out not in 1964, but on March 22nd of 1965. And of course, this is Capitol's version of basically introducing the Beatles, which came out on January 10th of 1964, just beating Meet the Beatles by about 10 days. Introducing the Beatles is basically Please Please Me, which was the Beatles' first debut album, 1963. So most of this music is really 1963, not even 1964 on this. So it's kind of bringing the confusion in there, because the album actually was released in 65 and they're calling it the 64 box set. But like I said, the music's basically 63 music that was originally released in the US on VJ Records on Introducing the Beatles in 1964. So I think that's kind of what's going on there with that. So I did skip over, also in the box set and exclusive to the box set is going to be the Beatles Story, a double LP that was originally released on November 23rd, 1964, so just before Beatles 65. And that one isn't really an album per se, it's kind of a documentary type thing, I don't know, audio essay. It's got some music in there of theirs, and that isn't really worth it, and that's part of where the confusion kind of continues in here. The box set itself is $300, and initially it was listed at about $330. So I mean, that's where there's a lot of confusion, because in the first hours of the announcement it was $330, $340, something like that. I can't remember. I went to the Beatles site, saw that, and I was like, holy cow, don't forget that. For 6 albums, with a 7th bonus album, yeah, it's a double disc, but am I ever going to really listen to it? I'm usually very positive about everything. I'm still trying to keep a somewhat positive spin to this, because I am excited about this in a way, but I'm really confused, I think, is more of the big thing. So they're selling these individually, the 6 albums here, individually. Meet the Beatles, Beatles second album, Hard Day's Night, Something New, Beatles 65, and early Beatles. And unfortunately I don't have all these in mono on the original ones, so some of them are stereo. That's what you're seeing there. So you can get any of those 6 individually for $30. That's been pretty standard retail price anywhere I've looked. The Beatles site, $30, Amazon, $30. You Discover Music, $30. Yeah, Sound of Vinyl, there we go, $30. So, I mean, 6 albums times 30, 6 times 30, $180, right? The box set is $300. So we got a $120 difference there for the box. I mean, I'm sure you got to pay some for the box. Usually if you get a box set like this, I wouldn't expect that it would be $180. I expect maybe $200. I mean, even that seems excessive, for just a box. There's no book. Usually these releases have got a book. I guess last year when they did the box set of the Red and the Blue album, didn't feature a book, but it also, the box set was only about, I think, $5 more. $5 or $10 more if you got the box versus getting the individual albums. If you got just the Red album and the Blue album, it would be about $5 more to get the box with the Red and the Blue album all together. So that seemed reasonable. $120 difference, though, does not seem reasonable. And does that justify the exclusive, the Beatles Story album in there? Yes, it's a double disc, so say these are $30, what would a double disc be? Maybe $50? $50? That seems excessive too. $40, possibly. I'll go $50. I'll go $50. That does seem about right lately, which is extreme. Yeah, we'll say $50. So $50, $180. Now we're at $220. Another $5 or $10 for the box. Maybe $225, $230. No book. If there was a book, I mean, you could justify maybe another $40 on that. So we're still $270. If there was a book, a hardback book, yeah, we're still $30 shy of the $300 here. Trying to add some value to it, and I'm not getting that. And I've got it pre-ordered right now, and this is where I'm really kind of like, do I want to go through with this or not? I'm not sure. And the other big confusion on this too is the fact that it's in mono. It seems like they're saying that it's the US mono versions, which there is some differences, a little more reverb here and there. Some of it was, I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was pretty standard, just mono. There might be a slight difference here and there, but there was bigger differences with the stereo stuff. And to me, if you're ever going to celebrate the US albums, you'd want to celebrate it in stereo, not mono, especially if you want to have some sort of difference besides just the album covers and the track listing, and that's where the next bit of confusion comes in. Is I would have thought this would have been a stereo box set. Now, however, one thing I'm trying to justify this on is, yes, okay, if this is just the standard mono, which is, you know, say what's been out since the 2009 remasters, which had a fantastic box set that came out, the in mono box on vinyl, is just a ridiculously expensive box rate nowadays. I think it was about between $350, $400 maybe when new, and now it's thousands of dollars, into the $1,000 range, if not a couple of $1,000s. So I mean, just ridiculous price box set. So I'm trying to justify it that that's what I'm getting in this, is most of that in mono box set, which unfortunately I never got. Kind of like trying to justify it that it's that, and even at $300 not making up, you know. And the other part that confused me is, okay, I could get it individually, save the $120, not get Beatles Story, which I'll probably never listen to, maybe once, but I also don't have the beautiful box to store it in, and it looks like it's going to be a nice box, but you know, $120 worth of a nice box, I don't think so. $5 to $10. If say this was, you know, they left Beatles Story out, just put those 6 albums and charge $200, I would still feel it would be a little pricey, but I'd feel better at it. If it was $190, great. That I'd be totally happy with, or $185. But the fact I can go get individually each of the albums for $180, it's just, I don't know. I'm really, really confused. So let's go through a little more on the stats on this. So this is coming out on November 22nd. I guess I forgot to mention that. Albums were originally released between January 64 and March 1965. I went through that already. It will be on 180 gram vinyl. It's an analog cut from the original mono masters. And that's where, like I said, it gets a little confusing. It's new vinyl lacquers cut by Kevin Reeves at Nashville's East Iris Studios. Let's see, they all feature faithfully replicated artwork and a new 4-panel insert with essays by American Beatles historian Bruce Spicer. So I mean, all that's great, but like I said, you can get this individually for $180 without the box. I'm still really torn. I don't know. I kind of want to hear what other people are thinking. I've seen other videos out, of course. You know, there's been plenty of other videos out on this so far, and it seems off. Like I said, I really feel like the stereo ones would be the story, and because they kind of messed that up with the US albums box set on CD, beautiful packaging, like I said, but you know, we wanted the true Capitol mix as what you got on the Capitol albums volume 1 and 2, but not on the US albums box set. And you know, I think they could have redeemed themselves a little with that by doing the stereo set, which to me is a bigger difference than the mono set. I guess, like I said, I'm looking at this now like this is kind of my chance to get the in mono set, the you know, the main in mono set at a little bit of a discount. I don't know. I really want the box to store it all in, because I don't want just an individual one sitting in my shelf with, which I mean, great, it's got the new artwork and or the updated artwork all nice and clean, you know, not this old beat up one like this one has been for years. Speaking of this one, I'm going to throw this in here right now as soon as I got this out. There is going to be, this is the only one I've seen on this, that aside from the individual release, there's going to be an exclusive release on colored vinyl through Target. And you can pre-order that right now too. It's $34.99, so about $5 more, and it's going to be on a blue opaque vinyl, and I'll have the hype sticker and all up there for it. And you know, that's got me excited. I think that's really cool. Now, if you know, they were working with other retailers and doing all the other albums on a colored vinyl, no question I'd go that as my route for picking it up individually, and I just skip the box set altogether. But I feel like I'm going to kick myself if I don't get the box set. I've also got my box set pre-ordered through Amazon, which does give you the pre-order low price guarantee. And I've got a feeling, I've got just a slight feeling, that it is going to go cheaper than the $300 on that. I was going to go, so where am I calculating here? So let's say they charge $50 individually for the Beatles Story. So that would bring us up to, what did I say here? So $210. And if they charge $10 for the box, that's $220. I don't think the pre-order guarantee price is going to go down to $220, but it is possible it could go down to $250. And I mean, I'm taking a little bit of a gamble, but it's less of a gamble than if I bought it straight through the Beatles site or straight through You Discover Music or Sound of Vinyl, because they're going to charge your card right here, right now, and it's going to be locked in at the $300 price plus shipping. I think any of those are going to ship that free from any of those sites, but you know, you're locked in at $300, and you're locked in at $300 right now. Where Amazon, I'm going to get, you know, I got it pre-ordered, so they're going to set it aside for me, ship it out when they can, and they're going to charge my card at that time at the lowest price, which could be $280, could be $250, could possibly be $220. $220 sounds right for this box. $230, we'll say that. That sounds more like a number they'd put on something like this. $230, still a little excessive, but still a lot better than $300 for what really equates to $180 that people want out of it, you know. So, sorry I'm being a little negative on this, but I'm, you know, I want the box, yes, but at that price, no. I remember when I first looked, I don't think the announcement had been out for much more than a half hour, and I went to the Beatles site right away, and it was $330, and I went, nope, no way, no. And then I hopped over to Amazon. At least at that time already, it was on Amazon, was at $300, and I'm like, okay, that makes a little more sense. But then when I started seeing the individual records were selling for $30 each, I'm like, well, there ain't 10 records in there. There's only 6, plus the 2. Even at that, at 8 records with the double album, it still doesn't equate out to, you know, $300. So I'm just confused. I don't know what to think on this. I'm happy they're celebrating the 60th anniversary in the U.S. I'm happy they're recognizing that, because those stats I read out at the beginning, that is impressive. I mean, that is absolutely impressive. And there, hardly anybody could ever match that. And, you know, that's what's amazing about the Beatles. And, you know, them coming to the U.S. should be celebrated. But I was really looking forward to Rubber Soul's box set this year. And now I'm getting scared that's been 2 years in a row that we haven't got it. Are they ditching this? I really hope not. And I did hear from somebody else saying that that Giles Martin has been working on all of the Rubber Soul back to Please Please Me. So that's telling me they are still working on this. Maybe there was a delay with something. Maybe they weren't happy with the mix or something on the Rubber Soul one. But I mean, half of it's done. Half of it was on the Red album last year. So, and I'd assume they're going to use that same mix. So, you know, again, there comes more confusion. What's going on with this here? You know, I mean, I'm glad they're doing something, but I think I'd be happier with this if it was the stereo mixes and that they went back to the true Dave Dexter Jr. mixes, the true Capitol mixes that came out, not the UK mixes. Yes, I prefer the UK mixes, but, you know, if I'm going to put on Meet the Beatles, or especially the Beatles' second album, which was a very radically changed album on that for the sound, I want to hear it the way the Beatles' second album should be played, which, I mean, is great that I got, you know, these originals, you know, and I can go back and listen to it the true way. But, you know, I think this with stereo, I think the mono is going to sound maybe a little different on this. I think there is an added reverb, but I don't know. I'm just confused. I don't know what to think. You know, and the other great thing about me buying this through Amazon or pre-ordering it through Amazon is I can cancel it at any time, and I'm out no money. So I'm going to just kind of see how it goes on this. I'm glad I got it preset right now to be pre-ordered, but I'm glad I can also change my mind if I want to on this, where You Discover Music and, you know, the Beatles Store, so forth and so on. I don't think you really cancel those once you do, you know, commit on that. So so just beware. don't get too whatever on it. And I'm still not sure if it's clear that, like I said, I don't know if it's the UK mono mix or it is truly the Capitol mono mixes, which, again, I don't think is that much different than the UK ones. Here and there, maybe there's something, but who knows? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think I'm more excited about that colored vinyl Meet the Beatles from Target. I'm really more excited about that than anything. And I really wish they would do, you know, Barnes and Noble one with one of the albums, a Walmart one with one of the albums, you know, Amazon one with one of the albums, or, you know, independent record store one with one of the albums, you know, something like that, where we could get the collection in a colored vinyl variant at least. So that way it's not just totally matching this. I mean, it would be great to have a nice, clean copy of this, but, you know, I think it would be cooler to have it on a colored vinyl on each one of them. Would I buy the box? Yeah, if they did the box set in colored vinyl, that would be probably the only version I'd get. So, and then I could see them maybe justifying, because usually they do charge $5 more for a colored variant, you know, on a single LP. So, you know, maybe I could see them justifying the price on the box with that, but I don't know. I'm really confused, and I'm going to get wrapping this up. And, you know, I really hope next year we get Rubber Soul. I really do. And I hope from then on, you know, we get Help and, you know, all those others going back. I kind of wish they'd maybe do it in, you know, pairs, though, on some of the other albums, because I don't think there's going to be as much extras on the other albums. So, you know, kind of do Please Please Me with the Beatles together, Hard Day's Night, Beatles for Sale together. I guess they really can't do Help with anything else on that point unless they pair that with Rubber Soul. But I don't think that's gonna. Maybe that is what's happening. Now that I was saying that out loud, maybe that is what's happening. Maybe they're pairing Help with Rubber Soul, and are going to do that with the other 4 albums from there on out. There will have next year, 2025, which will be the anniversary of those albums. The, you know, 65, those were released, so 2025, that would be the anniversary year. So maybe they are going to do a 65 box set with Rubber Soul and Help. And then they'll do, which won't work that way then, because it would be a couple of years out if they did Help or Hard Day's Night and Beatles for Sale together as the next one, and then the next year Please Please Me and with the Beatles together. That kind of makes sense now that I'm saying that. Maybe that is what's going on here. Maybe they had to work on Help to get it ready for this new box set. I guess we'll just have to see, or just be totally surprised next year. And, you know, maybe next year we'll get those Star Club tapes that Peter Jackson said he wanted to work on. It'd be totally thrown off again with this. So, I don't know, making predictions on Beatles releases is a great thing to do right now. So, I don't know. We're really getting thrown off here on this. However, there were several people that thought they would do some sort of 1964 Beatles coming to the U.S. 60th anniversary, something or another. So, I guess some people got that right. I don't think this is at all the way that they saw it coming, but all right. I'm trying not to make this video too long because I got to get it edited and out for the day. So I am going to truly get wrapping up and try to end my confusion here and at least end it with you guys. Let me know your thoughts on this, though. I kind of want to know where everybody's sitting on this. That price has really got me confused. It really does. You know, 220, 230, I don't think I'd be that confused. But 300, I just don't see where they're justifying it. Even if they put a hardback book in there, I feel like that would be a little excessive. And yeah, where is the hardback book? These sets have always had a nice hardback book with them. So, I don't know. All right. As I'm puzzled, I'm not puzzled about the fact that I want to thank all my subscribers, and thanks to any new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like. It really does help out the channel. And like I always say, if you've stuck around to this point, you must like it. So please give it a like and do leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. But I am going to truly get signing out. Like I said, just let me know your thoughts on this. You know, where you kind of are standing on it. Are you pre-ordering the box set? Are you going to kind of wait? Are you going to do the albums individually and say forget the box? It might be the smart way to go. I don't know. I'm going to kick myself so much if I don't got the box to hold them all in. I'm taking the gamble and hoping that Amazon will drop the price in between here and there. So, all right. Anyways, I am truly going to get signing out. I am Beatle Dustino, signing out.